Welcome back, everybody, to Unconditional Surrender in Europe, game designed by Salvatore Vasta, published by GMT Games. This is the East First campaign series. We are getting ready to go into March of 1943, and away we'll go. We had already rolled the weather. We roll the weather at the end of each session, so we know what we're going to face. And it was poor, severe, poor. So, onwards we go. No declarations of war. We go into economy. The Germans are at 30, and the British are at 26. He gives the Italians one, I think. The Russians were at 38, but they gave one to the Turks, thinking they might need to do something. And then he moved the... That's when he lost his 10. We were trying to figure out where he took his 10, and that's where it is. He moved it down at the very beginning. Later on, you'll see us put back that 10. He should be starting at 29. He started at 19. Didn't catch it right away. We caught it after he started moving some things around and was trying to figure out how he got so low. Now we're into strategic warfare. The Russians do not have anything to play. The Western Allies do. And for the Russians, they have +3 because there's 9 conquered countries. Excuse me. So, and the Germans have an airplane up here in Stavanger still. So they're +1. And he chose, I didn't have anything to play. He chose not to play his subs, I don't believe. He rolled a 2 +1 is a 3. And I rolled a 5 +3 is an 8. So I chipped him a factory. And now we went to combat commitment for the next one, which was really a no-brainer. I don't have a lot to do with the Western Allies, so I'll be using the Ultras for strategic warfare until I get ready to come onto the continent. So I played an Ultra, he played his subs, and I played an Ultra. He rolled a 5 +1 is a 6, half down to a 3. I rolled a 4 +3 is a 7, half to 3.5 becomes a 4, so he got a factory back. And ended up right where he started. I rolled a 4 for the Ultra, and he rolled a 5 for the submarines. Then I think we go off to strategic movement, and he's going to do one over here somewhere. You think? Oh yeah, he takes the Romanian. I pointed out to him that this convoy down here that I have as the Russians can't actually invade over to the Sea Zone 29 coast. I actually have to have Sevastopol first because I don't have a port over here to invade from. Because Russians can only invade one sea zone. So it's like, yeah, I can invade Sevastopol, but that really doesn't help me. That's not worthwhile use of a surprise attack marker because I wouldn't collapse anything that way. So he went ahead and moved the Romanians up to Opstrik and put the strategic move marker on it. The West, I don't think had one. I don't think I did one with the Soviets either. So operations for the Axis. So I think we go down here to Italy, in North Africa. They have to make a desperate attempt to cut their way out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Goes an assault, and then low supply guy goes 1, 2, 3, 4. So he can actually assault as well. And so we're setting the die roll modifier. He starts with a 0. Should get 1 for a buddy. Oh, we did combat commitment. He threw tanks. And I think I threw the airplane over here, the RAF. that guy. So I ended up at a net 3 because I'm +1 for British, -2, +2 for Brit armor, -2 for low supply, and then +2 for an airplane. And he ended up at 1. He's a 0, and then this guy adds 1, and then the tanks makes him 2. So he ends up at a 3. So it should be 3 to 3. He rolled 6 + 3. I rolled a 5 + 3, so he didn't get me. He had a chance there to 6 + 3 to flip me, in which case he might have gone after the infantry unit, or the armored unit. So he says, bye-bye, we're going to leave now. So I go, he's trying to move this, fleet is escorting the convoy, and he's trying to move the 11th out, because he doesn't want to lose any more units. He's finally given up. And I'm intercepting with the American 2nd Fleet. It is poor weather down here, so I am like +2 for American, -2 for weather, -2 for sorties. So I'm at like -2, and he's at like -6. So I need to roll really well, and I did. 6 - 2 is a 4. So that gives him 2 sorties on his fleet. So I don't have to look at the fleet anymore. And then now I'm -3, so I need to have a 6 in order to stop the convoy. And I didn't get it. I rolled a 2. But that gave the convoy a sortie. Then I went ahead and I said, wait, before you finish in C-Zone 25, we're going to go ahead and go after you with the med fleet down here. Again, I needed a 6. I didn't get it. If I had gotten a 6, I would have left him in Tobruk, and then I could have tried to cut him off and, cut him off, low supply him, and get another will point that way. But it was not to be. And so then he went up to Palermo. And the unit is activated. And he's down to 9 will points. Oops, wrong one. Or not 9 will points, huh? 9. Yeah. 9 will points and 8 production. Because he started at 11 with the Germans giving him 1, and he spent 3 on people. So he doesn't have a lot of production points with the Italians. This is us just cleaning things up. And then now he goes off to the east. And he's just kind of shoring up, getting ready for the Russian attacks. There's that infantry up. Goes ahead and tries to push back this bulge here. Starts with the Panzer as the primary, I believe. Oh, yeah, we went to combat commitment, and he did not commit. So he was 3 + 1 was 4 -1. He was +3 to 0. And so I went ahead and threw an airplane in, so I made it +3 to... +1, and then he should be at +3 net. He rolled a 1 + 3 is a 4. I rolled a 2 + 1 is a 3, so just enough to hold the hex. Then he does this attack, which I'm not sure why. But he's 3 - 2, so it should be +1 to +1 to start with. And then we went to combat commitment. And I did not commit on this one. So he threw his airplane in just to give him an extra +1. So he's +2 to +1, rolled a 6 + 2 is an 8. Oh, the 6 plus 1 is a 7, so I matched his die rolls. And now he goes down here to try and break out the armored unit. That's what he's trying to do here. This armored unit can't move because of my zones of control from here. This one and this one. Keep him from being able to move into adjacent hexes. So he needs to push either this one or this one away. Whichever one he tries to get. So he attacks with the tank. I think he throws in the Romanian. Oops, I'm going back. Sorry. And he throws in the Africa Army as well. So now we're setting the die roll. He's at 3, 4, 5, -1 for the weather. And I start off at +1. I think we'll go to combat commitment. It's kind of like, yeah, we don't really need to do this. We both know we're throwing. So I threw in my airplane, which is a net -4 sorties. He throws in his airplane, which is a net -4 sorties. So we each are going to take 1 sortie. And he throws in his ground support. So he is... It's 1 for the ground support. And should get another 1 for the air. And I get 1 for the air. So it's +6 to +2. He rolled a 2. +6 is 8. I rolled 6. +2 is 8. Yeah. He would have much rather had that be the other way around, so I was retreated. Then he would be able to possibly get his armor out of the way. He's going to roll for his ground support, I think. I'm not sure. Yeah, and he rolled a 4 for his ground support. And I think he was done. This is where we were looking at this and going, something's wrong here. And then you'll see he's still at 10 and 9, so he's got 19. He was looking at possibly having somebody flipped somewhere. I'm not sure where he thought I was going to flip somebody. But he has enough kind of laid back to unflip people and get all of his airplanes. He's got like 2, 3, 4 airplanes, convoy, 5 airplanes that need sorties restored. Where is it? It's down here. So he's got 5 German airplanes that need sorties restored, and then he also, you know, I could technically launch from Fighter Command 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if I were to chip this one, he has enough to replace it too. So he's going to be at full strength. And when we were doing the supply, I think he chipped. Yeah. Okay, so Western operations. Once again, I fly through the corridor with Bomber Command, and he chooses not to bother. And then I thought about it, and I said, you know, I need to try and do this again. Showed him what the thing would be, and he chose not to go after it. So then Bomber Command comes in here. Basically, he needs a 6 to stop me. So he rolled a 4, didn't get it. So I got 2 bombs in, and I stopped. And now I think I'm in the... I think I'm going to be in the desert here. Yes. This is me flying the airplane. Oh, damn. There we go. Things aren't jumping the way I want them to. So I'm flying the RAF 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. to there. They can technically be in supply from Benghazi. I take a sortie. And then next up should be activating the PEF. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hello. 6, 7, 8. And then 9, 10 to attack the no supply guy because he's flipped. He's -2. So that means the best he can roll is a 4, and then it's halved. So the best he's going to get is a 2. And he's already used his tank, so he has nothing to play here. So they think I throw the kitchen sink. So I'm 1 for British, 2 for a tank, and 2 for an airplane. 1 for British, 2 for a tank, 2 for an airplane. And I rolled a 2 plus 5 was a 7. Best he can get's a 2, so he's going to be retreated and eliminated. And I did not bother to take the hex. And then Americans go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to attack this guy because now I have him in isolation. So I start at 1, 2 for isolation. And then I think I throw the kitchen sink here. Tanks and airplane. So add 4 to that. So +7 to his -2 because he's in low supply. 5 plus 7 is a 12. And 3 minus 2 is a 1, so he's eliminated. So that goes away, and that's another will point. And there was a will point for El Galia, and there'll be a will point for Tobruk. And if you remember, he started at 9. He's going to be at... he started at 9. He's going to end up at 5. But then all the other will points are tough ones. I have to actually go into mainland Italy to get anything else done as far as conquering Italy goes. So anyway, that was 5 to do that. So then I went... it was 6, 7, 8, 9. And got me back into Benghazi. Thought about moving. I went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Moved him up. Thought about it. Said, why bother? Just leave him on the road. Save my production points. I did move the 10th in. Thought about it. So that's 1. Come on. That's 1, 2. What's going on? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then I put the 9th in there. I spent the 2 points there rather than moving the 8th Army. That way, now all my guys are on roads. So I can use strategic movement to get my garrisons around and even the armored unit like to a port and stuff. So, and now I think I'm done, and I'm going to be doing supply here. So I do supply a little weird to some people. So naval unit goes to 4, 53, 34. So this was the American. Used to have 2 sorties, now it has 4 because he has no fleets that can intercept me. And he does the 2 American units. And then the British unit over here takes a couple sorties and goes and does 2 British units. I see how I activate the units as I supply them, so I know that I didn't miss anybody. It can get a little tricky with the allies sometimes. Then I go over to the Suez, and I do 2 sorties there, and take these 2 guys. So I got 2 more left to do. And he goes up 1 to do him. And then I think I took another one on somebody. I think I took another one on the American. That's what I did. Because you used to be at 3, right? Yeah, 4715. Picked up an extra one. Since I have all the roads and am connected, I can use all my fleets all over the place. So I got everybody in supply. That was the important thing. And then up here, I escorted because he had his surface action marker, and I just didn't want to have to take any chances of getting extra sorties or whatever. I wanted the 1st Canadian supplied, and we are done there. Now we go to the east, I believe. And we're in the Soviets. And I have no idea what I'm going to be doing over here. I forgot what I did. I know I made a few attacks trying to push things. Okay, this was me checking how far this zero factor guy can go. I was like, look at that. I can hit both his airplanes. So I did. He only has 1 sortie. He's at a net -5. I'm like net -2. It doesn't matter because I can't get more than 1 sortie on him. He can't get more than 1 sortie on me. So just took those 2 down. There's our 3rd shock army. Checking him. Yeah, I was checking what was there. So I moved this infantry 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, just in case. I move this shock army 1, 2, 3, and we're going to go after the Panzer. So I start off with, I think this is a guards unit. Yeah, I start off with a guards unit and then I add 2 shocks. I start off at +4. He starts off at +3. +1, 2 for German 1 armor. I threw tanks. He didn't have anything he could throw. I threw tanks and an airplane. So it gave me an extra +1 on the guards unit and +1 for the airplane. So then I run through it. I end up at 5, 6, 7, -1. +6 to +3. So I just roll the same number as him. I'll force him to retreat. I rolled a 2 +6. He rolled a 3 +3, which was just enough to say, nah, I'm not going to let you have it. So, didn't move the armored unit. Next up, I think, was down here, trying to move the Africa army. Trying to keep this Panzer from being able to just run out and become a reserve. I might not kill it for quite a long time, but if I can keep it from being mobile, that's a good thing from my book. So we go there. I think I start with the armored unit as the primary. So he's +1, and +2 for the shock, and +1 for the buddy. Go to combat commitment because he can throw his tanks marker here if he wants. And he did. So, threw tanks, I threw tanks, and I threw an airplane. I don't remember which one. 2752. Oh, the Kursk airplane. Yeah. So I was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 -1. I should have been +5 to his +2. +3. Should have been +3. There we are. I rolled a 3 +5 is an 8. He rolled a 1 + 3 is a 4, so he wasn't flipped, but he was retreated. And I pushed forward with the infantry unit. Then I started thinking about what else I wanted to do. If you look, I'm at 27, and I've got to save like 17. I say 15, 16, 17, and I had one guy to build 18. So I'm not sure. Oh, this was me moving this infantry unit in Orel out of Hex 2648. And then I moved the armored unit that was flipped down here, and then we went after the 16th Infantry to see if we can get him to retreat. Played my last tanks on the infantry unit to make him think he's an armored unit. And started with the guards unit. So he's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, -1. Should be +4. And I think I throw an airplane in too. So +5. 2, +2. Maybe I can get a retreat. 2 + 5 is a 7. 4 + 2 is a 6, so I don't retreat him either. And now I'm down to 20. And when I counted, I have 15 in airplanes, right? And I have this armored unit to flip, right? So I gotta save 2 for that. That's 17. And then 1 more because I actually have a guy on my dead track that he killed along the way there. So I need to have 18 points left, which means I only had 2 points left to move. And so I just kind of did a rinky-dink move. Put the 51st there in the gap between the Yugoslav and the garrison, which aren't too awful scary. And then I moved this shock army up next to the north, so I'm ready for another one of those 3 hex attacks on the Germans there in April. And then I was done, I think. Yep. That's it. I'm done. And so we go to no supply phase. There's none of that. We get into "22 sorties." Oh, no. Go back. Go back, go back. I did do something. In the no supply phase, the Russians said, "This bloody thing doesn't help me." So I took off the convoy and put it in my eliminated box. So now I can say, I place it back in Leningrad, and then with my surprise attack marker, I have the threat of hitting Tallinn, and then from there I can keep going. So he spent 15 right away. Got 2 on that airplane, 2 on that airplane, 2 on the airplane in Palermo, 2 on the airplane in Central, 2 on the airplane in Norway. And then he said, "What the heck, since I don't need it for another airplane, I have nothing to build," he just brought his convoy down. And then we go into the western. This is a little bit more tedious. Let's go here. Here, I think. So I did. Oh no, he's doing the Italians. He spent the 8 points for the Italians. And actually did his 2 fleets. So he wanted to have something to intercept me. He doesn't need his convoys. I thought he was going to build his airplane right away. But he's like, "No, I got the German aircraft there," and he's got a couple fleets now that can kind of get in my way when I'm trying to do things. So that's what he did there. Now I started with 26. Okay, so took off 4. What did I do? I have no idea. I took off 4. Oh no, that was me taking off my 4. So I started with 22. So now I do my 2 aircraft, 3, 6. So now I'm at 16. And then I did 6 more for these 2 convoys, which put me down to 10. And then I had to do this convoy, which put me down to 3, or put me down to 7. And I think, yes, I did Fighter Command and Bomber Command. for my last 7. So the British are kind of hurting here as far as sorties and things. I'm going to have to slow down my operations for a couple turns and try and get my fleets and things back up to snuff. And now I'm doing the Americans. So this is just, they come down to, he becomes a 0. Both of these come down to, the airplane came down to, and then I think I'm doing the Soviets. Yep, I had flipped the armored unit, and then I'm now doing the airplanes. So he comes down to, he comes down to, he comes down to. There should be 2 more here, Kursk and Rostov. So the Russians have local air superiority over the Germans whenever they need it. Problem is it's crappy weather, so I can't really do much with it. And I don't really have a lot of my guards armies yet. I'll get those later. In the next couple of turns, I'll start getting those. And I still had 1 point left with the Russians, yay. No upgrade for the West or the Axis. However, the Soviets took the 37th out of Orel and the 38th out of Hex 3852 or 3052. Is that what that is? 3052. And put the guards unit there because that little bulge thing. So now I have, try and push him 1 more hex away from Kharkov kind of thing. So I'm trying to bend this German line back as much as I can in the poor weather. So that in fair weather, I might have a chance to actually make some kind of breakthrough or something. And that was my upgrade. Mobilization. I know I checked real hard to make sure I didn't miss anything because I've been missing stuff. I didn't, and then the Soviets got an infantry. And I couldn't make up my mind where to put them if I ended up putting them in Smolensk. So it's probably just going to end up becoming a guards unit anyway. Feeding one of the units at the front. And then, no diplomacy. Bing, bing, bing. Victory check, no. Not even close. And end of turn phase, where we get stuff. Moved our stuff down. The Russians got their tanks back. Germans got theirs. And they picked up a garrison to build this turn. I got a convoy for the Americans to build, and the Germans got an economic recovery. The Russians got 3 more guards upgrades units, so I can do that again like I did with that one, where it's like you have a guy kind of sticking out there that you don't want to be forced to retreat. You can turn him into a guards unit, make him a little bit tougher. And then the Germans got the economic reforms, so they go to there, and their factories now are up to 3. So June, December, and April is 3. There'll be 4 in August, 5 in December, 8 by the end of 1944, and 9 in April of 45. And this game is going to go till July of 46, so that's going to actually become important for the Germans, because that's going to mean they'll always have at least 18 points, no matter what I do to them in strategic warfare. Which can be enough to hold out for a very long time. Oh, not that one. Right, turn these off. Right, and then we move into April, and I believe we're going to do weather here. Now this is one where, since it's March, was the turn we left, we actually have to use the different lines here. So we'll be using poor and severe lines for the die rolls. And that was me moving my thing down. And then he rolled a 2-6-5, and for some reason I rolled a pile 2. Anyway, a 2-6-5 is, if you go to the poor zone in April, a 2 stays poor for the cold zone. You have to go to the severe line for the mild zone. So on the severe line in April, a 6 kept it severe. I mean, I couldn't have asked better die rolls with West. And in the warm, he rolled a 5 on the poor line, stayed poor. So the weather didn't change for April. Now in May, there'll be a 1/3 chance of a fair turn in the cold, 50% chance of a fair turn in the mild, and a 2/3 chance of fair in the warm. So while May might look promising, I really don't think I'll have the Western Allies in position to do anything against Italy until probably July, because I'm in the wrong side of the sea zone. I'm all way over here. All my army's over here. So the Americans can move over relatively quickly. I can rail a Brit, and it's going to take a while for me to get to the ports and have my fleets all set up to do their jobs, and get my airplanes over here at full strength, because they have to be at full strength because I got to take on a German, and probably pretty soon an Italian and Italian fleets and everything else. So this is going to be an interesting nut to have to crack. Okay. That's enough of me jabbering. As always, I am Dren... hello. As always, I'm Dren608. If you like my videos, please subscribe. Hit that like button so algorithms in YouTube keep this up for everybody to be able to find. And we'll be back with another turn in about a week. Until then, stay safe and bye-bye.